So, day two and a bit of the meme coin explosion on Wax. Is it 3 days?
Indeed.
I'm so confused with
I
time right
think
now.
I think it's 3 days now. Yeah,
Day 3
days.
now.
Day 3 now.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely got a lot of attention. I'm seeing tons of people from Solana in the Wax ecosystem now. Figuring out that they can just stake a little bit and not ever have to pay for transactions again, which is always entertaining. Yeah, I mean, we're in talks like up, and this is kind of what I wanted to talk about today, Juan. Obviously, we'll get to whatever else we have going on. TC is in the comments already. That makes my day.
Oh, cool.
Yep. Yeah, I'm having tons of ideas, and I feel like, looking into the tokenomics of Bonk and kind of everything we sort of know what might happen with WUF. It's really having a massive effect on how I'm thinking about strategy for the uplift moving forward. And then all the Nifty tools that I'm now just getting familiarized with, like getting some packs done and some new possibilities for timed staking and stuff like that. It's kind of where I wanted to take things today. But other than that, Juan, how are you doing? What's on your mind?
Good. Yeah, also very enthusiastic about that. Thinking about what will be the next meme coin to be dropped on Wax, and what should be the right mechanics to do to releasing another meme coin on Wax. Because
right. So
yeah,
let's maybe start there. Let's go ahead, finish your thought.
No, go ahead.
So I kind of wanted to unpack with you and maybe brainstorm about, you know, how we see that, right, and what those things might mean. I kind of always go back to, and I've talked about this on the show before. There's sort of the attention community thing, and I always used to say active wallets times number of transactions would kind of give you an order of magnitude, idea of what the price would be. But now, I think circulating supply has always had, a bit of a thing about this. But I think, people that are willing to lock it up, because that's what's a huge thing on Bonk. But then the size of your community, so that when you lock it up, you can target those people who are staking for airdrops or positive things or what have you, right? It sort of creates this intense community dynamic and an incentive to not only buy the token, but to put it away for, a month, 3 months, 6 months, whatever it is.
Absolutely, that I fully agree. But there's something that still has me very curious, and it's what will happen when the people from Solana come to Wax. Will that really work? Because right now it's like two different meme coins, two different blockchains. Even though it's the same, it's it lives on two completely different ecosystems. So my biggest curiosity right now is what will happen once the bridge goes live.
Right. Well, I mean, arbitrage instantaneously, right? Like whatever the price difference is, that'll flatten out, whichever direction. But yeah, no, I think that's a really good question. So this kind of brings up one other thing.
Price is one thing, and I think that price, that will level up. Arbitrage will happen very quickly. But community-wise, from the community point of view, what will happen? And that's really what I'm very curious about.
Well, I think that's really what thinking in terms. Okay, you say you wanted to drop a meme coin. What did they do? They got all these different projects and communities on board to airdrop to, right? It's like, we're going to do this big, huge thing. That's creating the network. It's actually creating a network of networks. It's creating a lot of attention, right? I mean, that's ultimately what happened, right? You had, a couple 100,000 people that were about to get an airdrop of something that inherently has no value, but then you put it out on the market, and suddenly, it's going to find some kind of level, which is deeply fascinating to me, right? But that's really like that size of that, I think, is the real key, right? If you do an airdrop to 2 people, that is literally pointless, right? You do an airdrop to 500 people, it's going to be kind of pointless. If you do an airdrop to 200,000 people, it's going to be freaking massive, right? So
Absolutely.
those communities, and this is what Bonk did. And I know that Bonk did a lot more of this, and I don't know enough about it. Like, I want to research this still because it's sort of fascinating to me now. $1.3 billion market cap later. I mean, it's worth learning.
Yeah, the thing is, how do you get there? Because
Well, that's the
it's
thing. So that initial drop, right? But then they keep doing deals with more
but I think it's
communities
not
to
only
keep
it's not.
airdropping to those communities.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not only the initial drop, because this is just like saying, for example, think about NFTs on the previous cycle or even before. You think about Punk, you think about Bored Apes, D-Gods, whatever.
Hmm.
And you see that these things got really up in value. Uh, but it didn't happen just after
No,
the
it takes
initial
time.
drop.
That's
So it
right.
takes time and
Yep.
it takes effort and it takes working with the community and
Yes.
adding value and finding investors. So what is this effort that what needs to happen to see this on wax?
Yeah, I
Because
mean
last
that's yeah. So this is the thing, like the stuff going on behind the scenes. I don't know anything about that. How could I, right? So I think learning anything we can about that, but I think we can infer some things about how they set up their tokenomics supply because they tell you in advance, right? This is how much is getting
yeah,
airdropped to Solana and Wax. This is how much is set out for marketing. On Bonk there was like market development, which I imagine is like going to different exchanges or and incentivizing dex liquidity, that kind of thing, right? So they're breaking those things up. um, so that's sort of been on my mind as well, right? Because if you create this thing that suddenly has an asset and you could create some demand side, then you can get those things out there and get the token out there and not create a whole bunch of sell side or too much sell side. But then like if you coordinate anything that you do like that with, hey, we're doing another staking session, or if that staking session is like bonk and
yeah,
you could do it anytime you want to, right? And only people who have staked an X amount, which last time was what, $900 or whatever, right? If you stake that amount, can you get any of this next thing? And of course, they made this deal with
yeah,
Woofy happen, right? And I'm sure they're doing a bunch of other things like this on Solana. So really, now it just goes back to communities, right? How many communities are you connecting together and serving? And I think
yeah.
honestly, like if everything that we can, look at, I think it might redound to just that for Bonk over and over and over again, right? How many times can you incentivize people to stake and to basically create value for other communities by dropping into those communities or using that as the snapshot?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, so TC projects are already putting NFTs you can buy with WUF on Wax. I mean, I would do it. I think it's a great idea, right? Because I can only imagine that they're going to start coming up with ways to either do staking like they're doing with Bonk, or something like it. That's one of the things I want to talk about. Like my idea of like sort of the termed that NFT staking. Even just this morning, I had another idea about it. But do you have any other thoughts on sort of how you can actually, do you have any other thoughts on how one would drop a meme coin? Like say, TCU wanted to drop a meme coin on Wax. What would be the things that you would want to do? Like, would you want to sell it with an NFT, or would we be leaning a little bit more towards, building some community and like a whole lot of buzz and then dropping into that, just airdropping it?
Well, I think that you really have to start thinking about the airdrop. I really like the
Hmm.
idea of the NFT, but I see the NFT more like adding liquidity to a pool in the sense that you're paying. It's like I'm buying the token and I will get the token later. But if you say airdrop, I think it's more go to all the projects, do some kind of partnership. Um, Organize things so that people has to perform some tasks to get
Yeah,
more exposure to the
the
give more
bounty
exposure to
block
the
thing.
project
I
and so
started
on.
looking into that today too. Yep. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think that's the way to do it.
Yeah,
It
yeah,
just the amount of hype and fun that got baked into, and again, it takes a little bit longer, but if you do it right, it's huge.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And the thing is, what I'm really curious about is how, um, yeah, how to bring people from other chains.
Yeah.
Because, for example, right now you have Solana, and that's fine. Um, and people will start coming once the bridge is it's available.
Right. Like once that Woof bridge is open and everybody's happy with it, right? And we'll see. I think more and more projects will be able to do that. But let's say it's just the WUF bridge that happens. We could go over on Solana and launch Upliftium NFTs over there, and have a budget, airdrop them, and eventually they could turn
Yeah,
it into WUF and bring it back over or whatever, right?
But just think about this. NFTs are really nothing this cycle. There's no hype around NFTs. And it's
Yeah, they're
sad,
an
but there's
amazing
no
tool
hype.
for us though. There's no hype yet.
Yeah,
There's no hype yet.
whatever. Yeah, it's
honestly,
an
like,
amazing tool. I fully agree. I can't agree more with you. But there's no
yeah,
hype, and
yeah,
all the hype is it's around meme coins,
right.
right? You see meme coins, meme coins, meme coins, and communities are being built around meme coins this
Right,
during this cycle,
that's
not around NFT
yeah,
projects, around meme
that's
coins.
my focus. But for me, it provides an amazing amount of tools that I, as like a no code person, can go in and
Yes.
mimic the kinds of things that Bonk is doing with NFTs. And honestly, I think expand on it. One, I do want to touch on this a little bit because I'll put a sizable bet on this. We are so early in the bull market for Bitcoin that like
Mm-hmm.
NFTs don't have a lot of hype right now. I swear to you, it'll come back before the end of this market, right? And
I'm pretty
it
sure.
might be the things that we do that do it, right? Who knows? But I totally agree. Right now, all the energies in meme coins focusing there should be the way to go. But for me, I'm finding like, well, I'll talk about the staking thing, which again, like I can't set up a staking contract on Solana. I don't know how to code that on Wax yet. I'll figure it out eventually, right? But what I can do is say, okay, I've got an exact budget of Upliftium that I can allot to, say, like a 6-month staking period. So the first thing I do is
Yeah.
create a blend where you take this staking NFT, and 6 months from now, this blend goes live, and you get a pack, and that pack is going to be 40% better, or 60% better, or 100% better, right? There's
Or,
going to
or,
be
or you can make it even easier. Why do you want a pack? You can say, okay, I have this NFT
right.
and I
Here's
can
why.
create another blend, and you go to this blend, you burn the NFT, and you get back your tokens. That's
Here's why.
perfectly doable.
I agree 100%. That, and I could do that today. The pack thing I'll be able to do after I talk to you after this show. And here's why. I was talking to Bullshibbles about it, right? He's way more likely to do something with degen energy in it than with a straight shot, right? So we will get far more impact for the budget of Upliftium that we put out if we're putting out a pack that has a chance of something very good, and then a chance of something very good that's a lot better, and a chance of something that's holy crap good. It's
Yeah,
going to be better.
I agree with you, but remember that blends can also have multiple outcomes. So you can have a blend that gives you this outcome, and this outcome.
That's
Why do
exactly what
you
I'm saying.
want the additional step of creating a pack?
Well, here's the other reason why. If we have those packs, suddenly those packs can get bought, resold, or held, which might happen, right?
Yeah,
And that's locking them up for even longer.
that's also true. Yeah.
And later, if we do packs, and later we can start adding stuff in. I could get a partner project that wants to give a 10% chance of winning something else, right? Like that. So that, cause even on the staking thing, now I could be thinking, okay, I'm going to target that staking NFT that people are going to have in their wallet, right, for that 6 months. I'm going to be thinking, how do I target that NFT so the next time I do one of these things, people are clamoring to get one, right? Because that's my staking target, right? That's like the 25 million bonk that people had staked or whatever, right? So that initial staking NFT, like you do the initial blend. I'm thinking personally, I'll just tell people what I'm thinking right now. You take 5 of the 10 million Upliftium NFTs, so 50 million Upliftium, and you basically blend that for the staking NFT. That staking NFT, you're not going to be able to blend it out for 6 months, so it's just going to be sitting there, right? You're not going to be able to do anything, but you'll see that
Yeah.
the blend is there and the timer is going to tick down. Like I want people to understand, like this is already set up. It's not like a maybe, right? And then that whole 6 months, I could target that staking NFT with stuff. I could do another staking blend a month from now, and now I have 2 different templates that I can stake. And that pack that comes out when you blend it out, right? Like who knows? I could throw one of my nifty, Betsy's in there as a percentage win
Yeah.
chance, right? Like it just gives us so many more possibilities for what we can do. Like I don't get me wrong. Like my initial thought was, you stake, 50 million, you get 80 million back or whatever, right? Like just straight shot, just do your branding, whatever but there's so much more impact. And this is the thing that we found before. And Bull Triples reminded me of this because he's finding himself doing this all the time, right? So like whatever he would degen into, we sort of pay attention to what kind of gets our inner degens kind of interested. And unopened packs were consistently worth 4 times more than the total of what could have been in them.
Yeah,
Like
provided
that's powerful.
that what you can possibly get out of there, it's there's a chance that it's bigger and greater than what it says that it will be in there. So yeah,
100%. Well, that's the thing, like, right? Like and I guess this might actually be how we market it, right? So you're gonna get a 40% increase, but you might get a 70% increase, and you might get a 100% increase, right? So right off the bat, like there's a minimum. You dead certain you're gonna get an increase that's pretty sizable, frankly, right? And there's always a possibility of getting even more. And really, like all that's just to say, once you have that stuff staked, now it's basically up to the Uplift community to be thinking, how can we create collabs and different things to really incentivize, give people bonuses for having that staking NFT or having any kind of staking NFT that we put out. Because that's just more and more reason to A, buy the token, and then B, lock it up.
Yeah, I see that. But cool. Yeah, and what I really think is that there has to be a big possibility for people to make money out of this, because that's what all the crypto people are expecting to do, and I think that that's something that is missing on Wax.
So, how, as far as like the whole making money thing, I mean, the kind of theory of the case of meme coins, and I'm still learning, but it sort of makes sense to me at this point.
Yeah.
If we're creating tons of reasons to buy it, because you definitely want to stake it, because you definitely want to get in on whatever airdrop we've just announced, right? That seems to be like, that's why I bought Bonk, right? So I'm sort of biased on that.
Yes,
but that was my main buying.
And that's fine. And consider that there's not only one type of crypto degens. There's the crypto degen that wants to make money today. Buy it now, sell it 5 hours later, sell it 3 hours later, say it the day after tomorrow. So
this is actually even better. This is better than what Bonk has.
Different,
This is better than what Bonk has, because if you stake it with us, you now have a staking NFT you can go and sell.
Yeah, of course. It's like liquid staking. It's like having a WST ETH instead of having
I'm thinking like
ETH.
So
you can really trade that.
That's interesting, right? Because like and it's not going to be staked. You're going to have access to it whenever you want, right? Whoever owns it is going to be able to blend it out. And I'm only going to do 20 of these things initially, right? Because like it's going to be 50 million Upliftium to get into it. They're going to be very, very rare. I could totally see people making those things and then putting them on sale when we start to announce airdrops, right? Because you're gonna be able to buy that to get an airdrop if you want, if somebody's willing to sell it. So that's something that you could flip that day. And again, like it's gonna be pretty limited and kind of high this time. Might be 10 million to get into the staking next time. But when we target those staking NFTs, I'm gonna start every kind of staking template. I'll target them all at once, right? So we might have 7 different staking cycles, but every time we do an airdrop, no matter what, everybody from the staking is going to get those things, right? Just to kind of max that out. Yeah, that's a good thing. I usually don't think about that. I think that's I'm glad that like kind of what I'm contemplating actually really does serve that immediacy. But yeah, like the ability to sort of flip on attention is something that I don't consider enough. I just want to address this. TC, you gonna do anything with the miners that are still available? Absolutely yes. So I've been talking to Bull Shibbles about this, and I'd love to get your opinion here on DMs or what have you. My main thought right now, he was saying that he'd just like to blend some and get some Upliftium NFTs, right? Just like straight up, give me some Upliftium NFTs for a package of some of the smaller miners or the older miners or what have you. So I think I'm going to test those out and see, and they'll be limited, right? I'll see how those work. And really, like the mining is going to be going through some changes anyway, right? segment, I'm dropping all of the static miners by 10%, and I'm putting all of the savings into the 1 million, the 10 million, and the 100 million NFTs, so that people have more and more reason to buy the token and lock it up, right? And so that just is hopefully going to create some buy pressure for everybody else who's mining it as well. It's like just having the miners that static mine exactly the same forever and never doesn't really serve us long term. So that's something that I'm going to be doing. And I'm actually going to be doing that phasing for quite a while, right? I really want to flip the script on the static miners, so that the 1 million, the 10 million, and the 100 million are mining a lot more, and again, more over time. But yes, I want to make sure that on the back end, the miners that exist now, we give people all sorts of options, and we're going to play with it, right? To blend things out or use them in other blends, or basically like give you ways to recycle it if you'd rather be doing something else with them, up to and including taking a giant pile of them, getting a 1 or 10 or 100 million Upliftium NFT that again is going to be mining at a much better rate. So that's kind of where my head's at right now. I'd love to get your thoughts on it. But yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like the Uplift has so many NFTs, we want to use them, right? Like there's just so many things that are out there. And Bullshit was saying too, like apparently Our Planet nerfed their NFTs by like 99% twice, which is just like hard for me to imagine. But once he got used to that idea, he just like, it's just the state of play now. And he started figuring stuff out. But it also created, and this is what he keeps yelling at me about, and I totally agree. Anything that creates motion in the system is going to benefit everybody, right? So like if absolutely anybody is like burning stuff or selling stuff or decided to do anything with it, it's going to just start breathing life into it. So yeah, so TC might be a great way to get rid of all the miners on the market, like get them sold. I mean, ultimately that's kind of the idea, right? Like if we're creating blends, and I'd love some examples of like what would be a good blend, and I want to be thinking about in terms of the blends, not straight value now, but straight value as if Upliftium has 5x or 10x, for no particular reason. Wink. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, tons of ideas, right? Like that's sort of where my head's at. And then, just hypothetically speaking, what if I wanted to do a partnership stake where you had to stake 50 million Upliftium and like a bunch of Nefty backed NFTs, and those things would blend out. And we definitely, this would be another reason why we might want a pack, or getting some kind of NFT from Nefty and a pack from Uplift. Like there's just like a million things that we can do that you can't just do with a token.
Yeah, that I agree. There are things that that you can do with NFTs that you cannot do with a token. Well, maybe you can do them anyway, but you'll have to write some code. And why not use the tools that are already available? That I fully agree.
Yeah,
I fully agree. Yeah. In the end, also what is really important for me is how to provide continuity over time.
Yeah.
If you think about this, I don't know, Dogecoin, when was it launched? 2021, Doge. 2020 or something like that, Doge?
Yeah.
And it's still there, and it's the number one meme coin up till now.
I think you get a community coin up to a certain market cap, and the community starts doing it itself. Like the Doge community, nobody asks them to do it; they just do it, right?
Yeah,
there's enough people with enough vested interest to keep it.
And they are
going,
big, right? Big investors there, big backers, people who love the project. But
now,
what I still don't understand is how do you achieve that?
Well, just look at everything they're doing. They announce community projects all the time. Every single time Elon Musk hints at and then doesn't do, I might add, putting Doge into payments on Twitter, it goes bananas, right? So like people are interested in the possibility of being able to trade tokens on social media or use them for payment rails. Like all just like it's just a use case, right? But yeah, like for me, going from zero, I like proof positive. You get XYZ number of communities that are on the same page, they're going to go bananas, right? Especially if you can do, and the way they did it in breaking this down, right? All those people on Solana, they had to get airdrop stuff or buy it on Wax, right?
Yeah.
So that, if we have 50 communities projects on Wax, I'm thinking even like old and deprecated ones for people that are holding NFTs on projects that are kind of dead, right? Like, why not? Let's give them something, because they clearly had some intent on that, and that's actually why Bonk was created. I was reading through their white paper, and they wanted to airdrop to all the projects that felt like, or all the people that felt like they got rugged once the bear market started.
Yes.
It's goddamn genius, frankly. But also like cool. Like there's so many people that
Well,
want a positive
I'm
experience.
not sure about this. But I think that Bonk was created just after Utes and Digots decided to go to Polygon. And it was kind of thing. Okay, we have this big airdrop, and if you had a Ute or a Digot, you won't get it.
Oh
Because
wow,
those guys are going.
they're
I'm not
leaving.
completely sure if that was the case, but I remember something like that.
Wow. So that's that on the community angle thing, right? Like how basically how can you get the attention of the biggest number of people that can get excited about it? And I love the idea of even just like, obviously they got to get the bridge going on, but even just, okay, we're airdropping to a bunch of communities on Solana, we're airdropping way more onto a bunch of communities on Wax, right?
Wax.
And now like everybody's got an incentive, clearly, because we're watching it happen. All these Solana people, they're not waiting for the bridge, they're coming over here to make sure that they can get in on what frankly is much bigger action. Now, granted, I shouldn't say that necessarily. They might have more TVL and more liquidity, or more volume on Solana. I haven't checked, but it feels big to me.
They have way more. They have at least 10 times more liquidity over there.
Are you serious?
Yes, of course.
Holy no! I mean, in the actual WUF pairs.
Yeah. But the thing is that it makes sense, because just think about this. What will happen when you open the bridge? The price on Wax will be lower than the price on Solana, or vice versa. But what do you want? What do you want to achieve? You want people from Solana to come to Wax, right?
Yeah.
If
I mean, they already have.
If you provide the same amount of liquidity on the Wax side, what will happen when you try to make the price bigger on Wax so that people want to come to Wax and sell here or use their wolf here?
I don't know that would necessarily be the incentive, right? Because then it's just,
I don't know either. I'm just speculating here, so don't.
So here's how. If it was me, if I knew there was way more money on Solana, which there is, which is like 100 times more, whatever it is, right? There's a stupid amount more. So if I wanted them to come here, I would create staking incentives that only existed on Wax.
Yeah, that's one way of doing
it.
But
you can bridge it over, or you can buy it here.
It's not only about staking incentives. That alone won't make it. It won't make it. You need more than that. You need to be able to trade. For example, if you go to Solana and you think about WIF, that's huge, right? But you go to several platforms, you can trade futures on leverage, you can do a lot of things. And that is still not possible on Wax. So you really have to come up with something that it's going to be very interesting for people who are on Solana and that are used to a lot of different tools that we don't have on Wax, to a liquidity that we don't have on Wax. So I'm very curious how is it going to roll out.
If you're bridged, then and I don't know anything about the NFT situation on Solana, so excuse me for that. But like, there's inherent benefits to each side. So if you do have a token that can get bridged both ways, you can take advantage of both.
Yeah, absolutely. But okay, think about NFT situation on Solana. Crappy, as everywhere.
Okay, I
but still, when it's crappy, they are trading over 1 million per day. We are trading peanuts compared to them. So I don't know. I really want to know what is there going to be here on the Wax side for all that people, and I hope we can attract them, and I hope that we have something interesting for them. But I'm kind of worried that we don't. But yeah,
No, look, don't be worried. Let's just make something. Bias for
yeah,
action. That's
and
my new
yes,
catchphrase,
that's
right?
the point. We have to do something. We have to make
Yeah,
sure that there's something interesting
and
for them when they
just
come.
yeah, 100%. Just get in the game. So
Yeah,
more people should be thinking about launching meme coins. Quick, quick nudge, nudge. Those can partner with the projects that are moving right now. WUF and Shipple and pretty
yeah,
soon Lithium and Nefty, right? And sort of connect those communities in meaningful ways. And and then just start planning for freaking airdrops, doing a bunch of stuff on social media, like the bounty block thing. We should be doing that nonstop, 24 hours a day, right? Because that's what's going to
yeah.
end up connecting some of the attention stuff together. And the staking thing, we know that does work. We know the airdrops do work. Is there more? We're going to find out. And when we find that out, we figure out how to do it, and we do that. That's all there's to it.
Yeah,
Not that
yeah,
that is simple, because it's not. It's very complicated, and it's a ton of work. But
yes.
it breaks zero laws of physics to accomplish it. That's interesting. So what if you set up a stake on Wax and pay out in both Wax and Solana? You just provide your Sol wallet. That's probably something that we could accomplish. I don't know how to do anything bulk on Sol, but again, if it was just 20, then that would be a thing. Now the other thing is, how do you get the Sol, right? Because like, I guess you'd have to have the token over there, because or maybe NFTs or something. So basically, like, I'm just trying to actually game this out. So you stake 50 million Upliftium, you're gonna get a pack back or whatever, but maybe you also get a pack on Sol. So then I guess we'd start an NFT collection over there. That'd be the easiest thing, because I know how to do that. Or we start a token over there where lithium is over there. But then we'd want to have some kind of bridge, maybe. Not really, because we could just incentivize the WUF lithium pool.
Well,
Damn it,
but I think you
TC.
also always need some kind of bridge.
Well, here's the thing: WUF is the bridge. We know that's going to happen. You could create a
Yeah,
WUF lithium pool over there. Done. It's got a pathway. I don't know how to build it, but they already did, or they're going to. Right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
all I need to do then is
It's in
have
the works.
lithium, right? Is have lithium over there that I can incentivize the lithium WUF pool, create some liquidity there, and Bob's your uncle. Damn it, TC. That's a really good idea. Shit. Okay, so I'm gonna write that down. I'm not gonna do it for this one, because I got to do a little. I got to keep this a little bit simple. But it's that many more reasons why everybody's gonna want those staking NFTs, because I'll probably figure it out before it's time to get rid of them. Huh. Now I'm gonna have to watch this back. Like, what did I say? Oh man, that's fun. That'd be crazy. Huh. Yeah. I guess, like, how would you register your Sol wallet? I'm just trying to think. I'm always trying to think, like, how does me, as like a non-coder or a very basic AI coder, figure that out? I mean, it really comes down to, like, what's the downside? As long as all the things I said I could, like, prove in advance that I could do, right? Launch an NFT on Solana is
Yeah,
probably not
yeah,
that hard. Launch a token over there is probably not all that hard. Creating a liquidity pool, won't trust it until I've done it at least once, right? And then how to create a farm over there, I need to make sure I can do that, because I don't know how they gate that shit over there. But if you could do it,
yeah. I I think that's interesting. We don't really know how to do it. There are many protocols that allow you to do it, but I don't know what are the conditions that you have to meet to be allowed to create a pool over there. How much liquidity you have to add, and so on,
right,
or a farm.
right,
So yeah,
yeah,
that's something to we have to
it's a
learn.
different thing. Yeah, exactly. But TC, thanks for the brainstorming, and now we have some homework. Now, granted, like, that's probably gonna get tabled for a little bit. TC, keep bugging me about it as we go. I've got like a good month solid worth of work on Uplift I'm going to be doing to kind of do that. The minor blends, experimenting with those. I'm not going to get it right the first time, I'm sure, but we'll see how those go. And the staking, and we're going to be adjusting the mining blends and doing all that shit. Like that's kind of going to take up my mind for a little bit here, but yep. Well, and incentivize Shipple and Nefty lithium pools, which I'm very excited about. Got to get that doing. Cause yeah, the Uplift is going to budget like a pretty consistent amount for those. So got to get that shit out there.
Cool.
All right, man. Now I just got to figure out how to make packs.
That one's easy. I'll help you.
All right, beautiful. All right, guys, we're gonna take off. I'm actually gonna learn how to make packs, and then I'm gonna make a short, hopefully under 5-minute video on how to do that based on my new expertise. We'll start, I think, loading up on the channel, examples on how to build stuff on Nefty, because it's like an unbelievably amazing set of tools that anybody can use. And the fact that you can do token-backed NFTs means that it's just like meme coin city, right? Because you know what memes are? They're freaking images. Just do basic math. All right. Thanks, guys. TC, thanks for hanging out, man. And thanks for asking the hard questions that'll make us better. Cheers.